Good afternoon everyone, it's David again from CD Surveys. I'm going to show you some basic principles on how to set up a level, how to check a level, and then how to observe some levels in two methods. One is by setting out a basic grid with canes, and then the other method is three-hair stadia, which, if you remember, we mentioned in the surveying lecture we had last year, where you can use a level, orientate on the corner of a building, and use the circle within the level to turn round and take levels and distances. The distances you get are only good to 100mm, and this is purely because of the accuracy that you can read the staff over the distance. You're reading down to millimeters, so therefore, because you take the bottom hair and the top hair, one from other, multiply that by 100, the best accuracy you're going to get is 100mm. But we'll go into that a little bit later. Now you get various types of levels. Some of them are basic. This has got the circle on it. I don't know if you can see it in there. You've got a plate round here that you can turn, and that will adjust the reading. So obviously when you set that on something, you don't want to be turning it anymore because that will upset your readings. You do have a bubble you've got to level. To get this one, there's a pendulum in it. I don't know if you can hear it moving. But basically, there's this prism held on a wire, and it moves back and forward within tolerance on the bubble. If that sticks for any reason, then your leveling will be wrong. So the only way you can get it to make sure that it's reading is, what I do is twist a foot screw the furthest away, or on line away you're shooting. Just flick it back and forward, and that will make the prism, the pendulum on it, move, and then you'll notice the crosshairs will float up and down and then settle on the staff. And where it's settled, that's where you're going to read, and that's the most accurate part. Another type of level is a Vilt one. Again, you've got the bubble in there, your level, but this one's got a little button on it. So you press the button, that makes the pendulum swing, and therefore you can read the level when it settles again. This one's got the circle round there, and again you can set it up for your 0 on your corner of your building or wherever, and then as soon as you turn the level round, as long as you don't touch the circle again, you'll be able to read off the angle. And it's another method of surveying. So I'm going to use this level, the first one I showed you, mainly because I'm used to it, and nothing more than that. So I'll swing you around now, and then we'll go and set up the instrument over there, and then I'll talk you through how to set it up. Right everyone, I'm at the tripod now. So first thing I'll do is take off the cover, and this is purely on there so you don't damage the top of the surface, because that's what you're leveling your instrument on. So the level goes on there. Ideally this should all be done with a couple of people, but I haven't got anybody available at the moment. So levels on the instrument, you stamp down the legs, solidly so it doesn't move, and then you need to level the instrument. I'm going to put you in a little pocket here, so hopefully that will still record what we're doing. So basically the bubble will move in the direction of your left hand thumb. So if I go like that, that's me in the middle now. Alright, so that is at level. So if I take the back sight reading, so this is where you've been, and then we're going forward. All right, and you've got booking sheets, and this is on your handouts, 14.1 I think it is, and we're going to I've hammered in some pegs. You can see one there, and there's a nail in the curb over there, which I'll show you later, and I've banged in another peg in there, and then I've got one over where that other level staff is. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is I'm going to read these staff readings back and forward, book them down, show you what it looks like within the crosshairs, and we'll take it from there. One other thing is I've used pegs to put me level on, and a bubble to make sure it's see the bubble, to put me level on, and a bubble to make sure it's you can see the bubble. It's more or less within the circle. So again, if you don't have a bubble, the best way you can do this is to slowly move the staff back and forward, and then you read the lowest reading. If you don't have pegs, you need to have a solid surface, because when you put the staff on it, as soon as you turn it round, you don't want it to dig into the ground. So you can use just a simple screwdriver, whack it in the ground, put your level on top of that, and I mean your staff on top of that, and that is a good change point. Okay, right, I've sighted on the staff. Let me see if I can get this to work. I don't know if you can see that clearly. It's not very good, is it? Oh, there we go. Right. It's actually on 1.24. I think it is. Let me just check. Yeah, 1.247 probably. Now what you've got is you've got, each of them are, there's 1 centimetre blocks. So you get 1.2, and then you get the white bit, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5 is the top of the E. So that's 1.25, and then it goes on right up to 1.3. So I'm reading 1.247. Okay. Right, staff point. If A was my corner in the road, B is that peg, so this one's C. So staff point C. The back sight was 1.247, and then we'll read forward to D. Okay, this time I'm reading 0.997. 0997. Let's see if we go. So I said it was 0.997. So if I flick my foot screw, you might see it just up and down and then settle. Right, so I've got the 2 readings on there. The back sight is 1.247, and the foresight to station D with the tripod is 0.997. What I'm going to do now is move the level from here up to in front of the other tripod, and then I'll take a set of readings again and add them up, and that will give me what any error, if there is an error on the leveling, and my observations. The leg wasn't done up very steadily. We're all right. Again we'll level it. So again we level it. God knows how this is going to look when I put it all together. You might get the gist of what's going on. Right, so level now set. That's good enough. Alright, now reading this is now reading 1.422. So I'll flick my foot screw back and forward. We'll see if we can see what the reading says. I don't know if you can see the crosshairs now, but believe me, it's 1.422. So if I flick the foot screw, you see the staff will move up. Well, the image looks as if it's moving up and down, but it's the prism. Alright, so we got 1.422. Right. So what I'll do, I'm going to stick something. If you had something here, you can get it with the finger. Stuff. So I'm going to try and find out what I'm reading on the staff. So I think it's probably about 1.1 something. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that in there. Yeah, can you see me stick? So it's 1.1. 5, 6, 7, 1.17 something. 177. Have a look at, see if you see that. Right, you can see the crosshairs in there. Right. 1.177. Okay? So write down 1.177. Add them both up now. If you can see that. So I've got 2 and 7's 9, 2 and 4's 6, 2 and 4, 6. 2. This is 7, 14, 9, 10, 17, and 2 and 9, sorry, 7, 9, 16, plus 1, 7, 1 there, 9, 11, must have read something wrong. Okay, back to the drawing board. Let me just think for a minute. Okay, cardinal sin. I put the last two readers in the wrong boxes. So we assumed that because we back sight and foresight, when we move the instrument, this one's the back sight, and then that one is the foresight. And I just put them wrong way around. And when you add up the both of them, the back sights and the foresights, you get 2.224 and 2.4. It's quite windy. The staffs are vertical as it will get. The instrument could be out of tolerance. I mean, that is effectively a 5mm error over 30 meters. So as long as your back sights and your foresights are even distance, you should be getting 1 or 2mm accuracy, which is probably good enough. So I could adjust the level, and what you do, if you want to, this bit, which goes around the adjustments either side. You get a little bar called a Tommy bar, and you would adjust the bottom one slightly and adjust the top one. Get the reading to the far short to get rid of that 5mm. Alright? And as it was 5mm higher, you would reduce it. So the reading I had was 1.177. Sorry. Do that all again wrong. 1.422. I would reduce it by 5mm. Sorry, give me a break. Increase it by 5mm, so you would end up at 1.227. So you adjust the top, bring the crosshairs up to 1.427. Make sure it hasn't moved. Put this back on, and then you do the whole exercise again. And the reason for doing that is to make sure that it doesn't adjust. And once you've done that, then effectively you can start level. So adjust the level. If you've got a new level, or you've got it from, you bought it or you've hired it, and you want to make sure it's useful for its purposes, you must do a 2-peg level check, and it's in your notes. In the handouts that I gave you. Failing that, I would advise you, until you get to know the level, do it before any work you do. Because if it's in the back of the car, or it gets knocked, the whole thing could get out of adjustment. So you're best checking it until you're confident that you get consistency in it. I mean, this one, I checked it last year when we did it with the last student, and it was within a couple of mil. So this year it could either be my reading, or it could be the windy conditions. The other level was very similar, and we checked between both of them and they were very good, so there was no need to adjust it. But as I said, likewise, you may want to do that. So if I talk you through now, you've done your leveling, you want to now level something, and if I stop you here, and I'll go back to there, and I'll explain what I've done at this end. Alright? Say, near why Gordon Bennett. It's not very nice in Spain sometimes. So it's nice being outside, but you don't have to get a runny nose in this one. Spinning the foot screw at the front so that I can get the prism to bounce, and it's 1.425. So that's taken to, so I'm doing the 3 poles. This one here, 1.425. I'll take one in the middle pole round there and one on the other end. And then tomorrow I'll come round and use the spinning rotating laser and then see how these compare to these levels. And then we'll continue with it. So I'll leave you recording while I move that level tool. Four, 2, 5. That's exactly the same level as it. One point 315. 315. That's very good, Savine. Certainly we're leveling. Start and finish on the same point. And it doesn't matter if you go around the garden, around lots of stations, you should come back to where the start is. And when you add up your back sights and your foresights, they should all tally. And if they don't tally, you've either made a mistake on reading them, the instrument wasn't level, or the staff man or whoever put it up didn't hold it vertical, because if you can imagine any time that's not vertical, the reading in your instrument will go up. So you always want to read the lowest reading. And again, if I'm going to read back to the first station that we started with, station 8, and that'll be a foresight, as if I'm going to continue again. So back sights when you start, foresights when you're moving on, just before you move on. And again, that's 1.230. 1.230. And if you remember, that was a centre hair reading for the distance that we took. So now I've got it on there. So that would effectively be my back sight, the intermediate readings, and then the forward sight back to station A. So that's it at the moment. What I'll do now is I'll pack everything away, and then I'll tomorrow when it's bright again, I think it's raining tomorrow, I'll show you the spinning laser. Alright, cheers.